Hi folks, welcome back to another episode. In this episode, I decided to make very short video to clarify some questions that I have been asking from social media. Yes, in this video I'm going to explain 4 major areas. First one, financial information about the CAP program. Tip for interview. If you're a student, you don't have certificate, how you're going to apply, and who is eligible for this program. And also I'll cover other area about this program. First thing, I want to define what is CAP. CAP is the organization that link you, student, and the host. So it's the bridge. So they act like a bridge to connect student and the host so that you can work together to achieve your dream. If you are going to the program, you are not going to the CAP international office to work in the international office. You are going to work with your host. What the host does, the host, they send their needs to the CAP program, that they need a certain amount of work for this season. That's why you can see the program is open throughout the year, because they are meeting criteria for short term and the long term. There is some host, they need a student for very short period of time. Maybe for them it is high season, so they need a lot of work. Maybe it's harvesting. They need a student for 4 months or 6 months or 8 months or 12 months. So it is depending the needs of the host. So CAP, they are there to ensure you, student, what you applied is going to match the needs of a certain company. So they are matching your needs and the company needs together. Is the program open throughout the year? Yes, it's open throughout the year. And some students, they ask, what if I get a placement for 6 months and then that program finish and I want to extend? If you want to extend, CAP offer extension. They offer extension to compensate for 12 months if you need it, because there are some people like students, they are still schooling. They need just that experience for 4 months or 6 months, or they have other business to attend. So after that 6 months, for them it's enough. If they finish, they can go back to their country. But if students want to extend, they can apply for extension, maybe 2 months or 3 months before you finish your extension. The extension, as I'm aware, it cannot go for more than 12 months. For instance, you get 6 months, right? And you finish. They can add you 3 months or they can add you 6 months, so you can complete 12 months. The payments, they're not the same, because you're not going to work with one company. Despite all you are in one umbrella of CAP. Some they can go to work in swine company, some they can go to work in dairy, some they can go to work in restaurant, like the farm with restaurant or whatever. Some they can go to work in horticultural company or industry. So they are not the same. And also they're not giving the salary, they give you sick pay just for you to make your life okay, to compensate you like your basic needs. Because remember, this program is for you to get practical knowledge so that you can climb in your career, so you can gain experience. It's not about going to get money, because they are not giving you salary, they are giving you amount to compensate. So the minimum amount that you can receive in 1 hour, it cannot be minimum more than like $7.5. So it cannot be lower than that, and also it cannot exceed 15 dollars per hour. There is different company, they have their own policy. There is some company, when they give you a placement plan, they clarify that you are going to work for 45 hours per week. So they will find a way to ensure you are filling 45 hours per week. So average working hour per day is 8 hours. There are some company, when it is high season, you can work more than that 8 hours. So you cannot force a company to give you more hours that they don't have, because they have their own goal. That's the first thing. And there are some company, they say they will pay you after regular 8 hours. They can start paying you that extra. There are some company, they say they don't pay extra hours. You see? So some company, they don't pay extra hours, and they listed it there. So don't go with high hope like I'm going to become rich. This program is for you to learn. So you're going to get experience. That's the first thing. You're going to get international experience that it can help you to succeed in your career in one way or another. It's not like you're going to work. That's the first thing you should put in your mind. So you cannot get less than 7.5. So you can get 8, 9, 10, 14, 13, or 15. After extra 8 hours, they pay you maybe the regular amount that they're paying, which is $10 per hour. But after exceeding that regular hours of working, they make 1 hour $12 or $14 per hour. And it doesn't mean like when you work maybe in a certain day 10 hours or 11 hours, so they start counting there. No, they have a goal, like for instance 8 hours per hour times 5 days. You get it? So you get almost 40, right? So they have their goal, like that 40 is for 1 week. So there is a day you work minimum those hours. There are some day you work extra on those hours. So when you reach 40, so they start counting extra hours, and then they will times the extra hours, like they will be calculating with extra hours. There is tax. It's not salary, but there is tax you should pay. There is some company, the host, when they give you a placement plan, they will show you accommodation, that are they going to pay for your accommodation, or you're going to pay by yourself. So they will give in a placement plan, they give everything very open. So if you are going to pay, you will pay with their own terms, and they will list all their terms. And for all time that you will be placed, maybe 8 months or 10 months or 12 months, they will calculate average hours, like 8 hours per 12 months, per 10 months. So they will find a certain amount of money. Maybe it's 10,000, 20,000 USD dollars. So they would list it that is a certain amount. But remember, that is the amount, a certain amount without taxing. So that is net amount. So if they would take their tax in the end of program, you would not have 20,000 because there is some tax, maybe if also accommodation, if you have other needs. So maybe it will not reach that's a certain amount you see, but net it will reach or sometimes exceed. In interview, you will have two interviews. The first one you will conduct with vetting team of CAEP program. They will ask some question that they want to know if you're matching with their client. The client is the host, the farm owner. After you qualify, they will schedule the second interview. And that second interview, it will be you and the farm owner. So the HR from that company will conduct interview with you to ask some question to verify if you can meet their objective or their goals. So they will clarify, like they can ask some few questions. I have been hearing your work, you have this kind of business, or you have experience with a certain company. So for you, you need to clarify that company that have been told with CAEP or from your application form. So you tell if it's tomato, maybe, or vegetable farm, etc. So you tell them what kind of vegetable you farm. You go specifically. You tell you farm tomato, cucumber, eggplants, kohlrabi, cabbage, and if it's there, you end up there, and you tell what your daily activity you do. You don't need to wait the interview to ask you. So you tell this is a certain crop you do, and you do from preparing the nursery, you plant, you transplant if there is crop for transplant, you do management, which is weeding, spraying herbicide or pesticide for control pest and disease, and also you do pruning, and also you do harvesting, packaging, sorting, and grading. If you have a code room, you can mention it. Maybe you can fit a certain need for that company. They want to know if someone can operate maybe in code room, or if you have sorting room, you can say, you can mention it as you do this kind of job in a certain this. And also you mention if it's hardworking, you go specific. If it's hardworking, how is hardworking? You tell you work for that company for 5 days a week, sometimes 6 days a week. Regular hours of your company that you mention as your experience to back up you. You work for more than 9 hours. So for them, if the regular hours for US is 8 hours, so if they find someone who can work 8 hours, and sometimes they can go more than 5 days a week, so that is hard working. So for them, if they have someone, they need maybe a certain student who can fit there, maybe to work 10 hours. Even if you work 9 hours, they know, like, because you work that hours, to add just 1 hour, it won't be a problem for them. So that's how you can explain and convince your host to choose you. So yes, some students, they fail, they can pass the first interview with the vetting team of CAEP, and they also fail the interview with the host because the host find there is no matching. You see? So you should consider that. And to win those interviews is to find experience from the CAP website, what the CAP do. So you hear experience from students that have been graduated or complete the program, what they have been doing. So it's good to know what they have been doing, or you have the experience you have, or there is someone completed that program that maybe inspired you. So explain how the work done. So which means you are kind of resourceful because you have written some information, meaning they won't invest a lot of time to educate you what they are doing because you have some basics. So, and also if you mention you have previous experience, so it means that the supervisor, they will have less work for you. So you're not giving a lot of work for your supervisor to supervise you because you seems like you are resourceful, self dependent, something like that. Tell me about yourself. You mention your name. I'm Eric Mar from Tanzania. I have 2 bachelor degree. I have 3 years of working experience in tomato farm where we work for 6 days a week with more than 8 hours per day. So that's the way you can explain you are hardworking. Because when you say I'm hardworking, someone else can say hardworking. So they cannot find real. But when you try to explain yourself in such way, you will find you are meeting their category or their needs. So you find like that is your right match with that company. One thing I want to remind you, you should act professionalism. Do not blow your cover. Do not tell too much about your family or your personal stuff. What they want to find you if you are going to match with their company. That's it. Do not tell your financial status about your family, because some people, they say, I'm from poor family background. So they think saying that the host will feel sympathy, so they can choose them because they are from that. They are not looking for that. If you want to be selected, mention experience that you have, or mention like what you are willing to do for them. For them, what they want to achieve. They want their company to keep growing. Tell them what you are going to contribute for them. Do not just tell your problem. So that's one thing you can keep in your mind when you will be doing interview. And interview is not something that is very hard like other interviews. If you have been in many interviews, I can say maybe those interviews you have been, maybe they are very difficult. They have difficult, challenging questions. But this CAP interview is just normal interview. It's just to know each other, so you don't feel like very frightened, like it's going to go very bad. They will ask you what you wrote in your application maybe, and they will tell you maybe here we have this situation, how you are going to handle it, and just to have a communication skill. That's it. What they want to know is like if they will give you instruction, you can take it or you can hear. So that is few things also you should consider when you are doing your interview. One thing I want to insist, keep it professional. For instance, they are conducting interview through Skype, and sometimes the host, they can say they are switching off their video, but your video, they keep seeing you on the screen, so that for you is just to give you a confidence that not seeing if they are staring at you. So because you're not seeing them, what you need to do is to stick center with your camera, face your camera, because if you are telling the truth, they will see from your eyes. So don't look this side when you are doing interview, or don't do other stuff, maybe taking some notes like this. So you need to stay focused. You keep it professional. That's how you can win. So that's is another thing that they know, like you are really following. What CP they want also in financial, they want to find a certain person who can afford to pay insurance fee and also fee for the program. That's how it is. So what they need, they expect from you, are you able to pay that? The answer is yes. So they don't want you like to start explaining. Maybe if you don't have that amount, maybe you have your own way or other source of finance that you can borrow from your uncle, from your brother. They don't want to hear those stuff because that is your personal. You understand? That's your personal. So you can pay, yes. What do you do? How are you gonna pay? So I can pay because maybe you have a certain job you're doing right now, or your parent, they are worker, they are working, maybe government worker, so they can afford to pay that amount. So you clear, you say yes, and then you can mention a certain duty like occupation of you or and your parents or your family member that you are doing that you will be capable of paying. So if you explain in such a way, they will have no doubt that you are going to meet financial difficulty, especially in developing country. That's the another thing. You need to pay money when you are applying the program. I already mentioned that in my video. If you are applying, there is zero cost of applying. Maybe you pay for internet bundle, but you don't pay direct for organization. When they will find the right match for you is where they can list amount that you can pay. The initial fee, it can be 670 USD dollar. That is initial amount. Initial means that you can agree to pay like initial amount, or you can pay in full. So if it's full, it can be maybe 2,000, and that depends the length of your program. If it's 8 months, 10 months, so it's different. So it's the due is not the same because everyone have different length of program. So the amount of money cannot be the same because it's calculated in every day. So there is a certain amount you need to pay. You will decide whether you're going to pay all money when you are your home country, or you'll pay half, that is initial, and when you reach to your host, you will continue paying for CAP, and they give you a window for 3 months to pay without penalty. After that, maybe you will be penalized, and they are not going to deduct direct in your I cannot say salary, the wage that you are receiving. They're not going to do that because you are adult and you're matured and you know what you are doing. So if you are responsible, you know you should pay that amount in a separated amount of time indicated, so that you cannot be penalized. And if you are going to make some difficult, which you are making, or you are closing opportunity for dear colleague of your country, because they have list of all students. So if they find some 2 students from a certain country, they don't pay on time. So they characterize that country that they are not paying amount, or they make some difficult. They need someone who is matured, who need less supervision, someone who is responsible. So that's one thing I wanted to clarify. In financial information, after placement, you need to pay 670. It depends your length of program. Remember, another cost that you need to pay in US Embassy for visa. To process your visa, you need to pay 160 and that money you will pay in US Embassy, not CAP. Another amount of money you need to pay is for your own flight ticket. And the flight ticket, it can be ranged from 1,000 to 2,000, maybe from Africa to America. Depend where you are. So that's the range. Means in flight ticket, it can be one way or round ticket. So if it's one way, of course, it can be 1,000 plus. If it's round ticket, it can be 1,000 or like 800, you see. So that's three. First, you pay 670 for CAP. Secondly, you pay for embassy. Third one, you pay for your own flight ticket. So you have to make 3 separate payments. For some students who are still studying, they don't have certificate. Or there are some people, they finish their undergraduate, but they are not received their certificate. CAP offer a certain form of proof that you will send to your college or your university, where they will fill all information that will be asked with CAP to prove that you are a student. So that proof will be your certificate. So that proof you will attach as your certificate, since you are not yet received your academic certificate. For instance, in Tanzania, you graduated from Sokoine, and maybe you're graduating from food science. So, and the area you want to apply horticulture, and you don't have any background of horticulture. So will you be eligible? So there it depends. If you changed your career from food science to horticulture, what you need to have professional certificate. Professional certificate is maybe training you get online or you get from a certain company. That's professional certificate. Anything that prove you that you have been changing your career, like you started working for a certain company. So if you attach those, you have your degree, you attach your degree in your application, and also you attach your professional certificate. Another situation is, most of people like Tanzania, if you're from Sokoine University of Agriculture, it is known that you have agriculture background, right? What if you're coming from University of Dar es Salaam? What if you are coming from University of Dodoma? Will you be eligible? The answer, no. You will not be direct eligible with the program. But it is possible, if you started pursuing a career relating with agriculture, to show them a goodwill. A goodwill will come from experience from agriculture or a certain company relating with agriculture. So that company you are working, they can give you a certificate to prove that you are working with them. So that is a goodwill that you start changing your career to a certain direction. And also you can add, if you start taking online course relating to agriculture field. So that is another second good gesture that you are starting pursuing agriculture. So if you add your academic bachelor degree in your application, and also you add attachment from agriculture company that your career is started changing from that direction to this direction, you can be selected. Some people ask this question: If I have a certificate relating to agriculture, can I apply? Yes, you can apply. If I have diploma, can I apply? Yes, you can apply. But from my own experience, most of students that they have certificate and a diploma, they are difficult to be selected because the competition is very high. You are competing with some people with that they have bachelor degree, and some they have masters, and even others they have PhD. So if someone is competent enough, yes, they can be selected. For how long they are going to process application? There is no specific date that they are going to process your application. It can take 6 months, it can take even a year because of pandemic. This is a recent experience. Before, it used to take 3 months. So it does mean that I just say like 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year. It can take even 1 month, depend what you applied for. If they find your right match, you will get your placement quicker. And some people, they think if they want to get the placement area, maybe there is a certain things they must do, like a certain program they must choose. I mentioned from my previous episode that a horticulture course, they offer many areas. So there is many hosts that dealing with horticultural crops. So if you apply in horticulture course, there is high chance of being selected area than other people, but that is not guaranteed, because maybe the time you applied at that short window, there was a need for a certain company, you see, so it can be your match. The season or the year start in September, so where the people prefer the farms, that's the time it starts. And things like more work can be available at window of January to May. And after that, maybe, it can be difficult. Like after that, it can be difficult, like to have like high production for some certain farms, you see. Maybe at window of May to August, it can be maybe maintenance or something. The production goes slow down because of welcoming another season. So most of time, most of people selected in the window of September to January, and the very big window is open from January to April. That's where you can get many people can be selected. But from May to August, there is very small window. This marks end of my video. If you find this video is useful in one way or another, please hit subscribe button below, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. See you in another episode. Bye.